Welcome back, nerdy movie fans, and welcome to the review of The Running Man. So this is going to be a review of the latest one, the one that came out this year, not the original. I unfortunately have not seen the original. Now, I really didn't know anything about it, so I was going into this one blind, not knowing anything about the story or the characters, which is almost interesting going into a movie like that, not knowing anything about it. Often I'm pleasantly surprised, and I was with this movie. So, from what I'm hearing about it, it seems as if the reactions are kind of mixed. I'm hearing it's either people are saying just wasn't needed, or it was a really cool action movie. So for Glenn Powell, I haven't seen him in a whole lot, but what I have seen him in, he usually does really well. So the fact that he was lead in this movie, that was where my interest first peaked. Also, the story seems really interesting. Because I have not seen the original, I can't compare the two. So I don't know if this movie was basically a copy with some new dialogue with the characters, or if this movie took a lot of liberties and added a lot of new stuff that the original one did not. So like I said, this review won't be a comparison. It'll just be me talking about this new one. So to sum it all up, I enjoyed it. Was it movie of the year? No, it was entertaining though. So there's a lot of, I think, background storylines happening that can be compared to the real world, and those kinds of stories in movies I think are really interesting. When you have a storyline that is clear as day, trying to make some political point, it's almost exhausting because we don't go to the movies to rant about the state of politics. But when you do have something that is sort of reminiscent to politics, that's kind of accurate, but it's in the background, it's just something neat to see. And for this movie, the sort of thing that they chose that I don't believe was really controversial at all is in this movie, the news is sort of in the movie. They can edit any video to make people say whatever the news wants people to believe that they say. So there's a lot of fake videos where we see some of the characters making a video and then we see it on the news. It's completely different. So in this movie, the news can just absolutely they control the entirety of the narrative. And although I can't speak as to the technology that exists for that now, but there are some outlets that twist or carefully edit certain videos to give a different impression, maybe from what the person in that video was trying to say. So, since that does happen from time to time in the real world, I thought it was neat that that was a very strong point in this movie. Not that it was a in your face kind of plot point, it was just the way the news was in this movie. So, to move on from that, the way they were able to do it, it made this world feel like it's a highly advanced, technologically advanced world, except for basically where the poor people live. Like Ben, our main character. We see that they can't afford medicine for his kid, but people have, piece of clothing that are worth more than someone's entire medical bill. So that's just what it's like in the world of The Running Man for this movie. So now that we've talked about sort of the themes it has, let's talk about the story itself, where Ben wants to go on a game show to earn some money, but he ends up on The Running Man. The risk in this movie is that people usually die on The Running Man. 9 times out of 10 they die. But hey, if they win, they get a crap ton of money. So hey, it's a Hail Mary. So he ends up reluctantly signing up for The Running Man. And obviously, we have 3 characters that are in this competition, but they're extremely sidelined. They barely get any screen time at all, and they don't really do anything. So it's just meant to be that Ben isn't the only one being hunted by these bounty hunters, pretty much. And so in this movie, he needs to evade capture for 30 days, plain and simple. If he kills the bounty hunters, he gets more money. There's stuff like that where there's all these stipulations to how he could earn more, not just the total. So of course, as the movie goes on, as the media, as the people that are pretty much behind these games, they want to try and control the narrative. Obviously, that's why they're faking all these videos, but they also don't want someone actually surviving. They just assume this challenge is impossible, no one's ever going to win. But now they're starting to fear that Ben might actually have a real shot at winning. So that's where people on both sides get extremely desperate. Ben finds a couple of allies willing to help him out. The media is doing all they can to find him. And so toward the climax of this movie, you have Ben and Killian, the guy that pretty much runs the Running Man. They're both having these live videos trying to say how things really are, but the other is contradicting their stories. So it does get, I don't think messy is the right word. It can get confusing to, I believe, the casual moviegoer, because there's so much changing in an instant where someone says one thing, the next fake video changes the entire narrative. So if you're just casually watching the movie, you could get lost with the story. So it's one of those you just really have to pay attention to. But if you do, I found it really interesting. So it was a really interesting story, satisfying ending. You got a lot of action. The action was pretty cool. And of course, Glenn Powell was great. So overall, I enjoyed this movie. And because of this movie, I do now, of course, have an interest in watching the original one. So I look forward to doing that. I want to see the original. I want to maybe compare the two later, sort of see what people think about the original and what people are saying about the new one. So I think it would be cool, because Running Man, as far as this new one is concerned, I thought it was pretty neat. So thanks for watching my review. Keep it digging, guys, and I'll see you next time.